Kia ora, and welcome to Tuesday's Economy Watch, where we follow the economic events and trends that affect Aotearoa. I'm David Chaston, and this is the international edition from interest.co.nz, and today we lead with news China's financial markets are flashing some unwelcome signals. But first up today, there are a range of services PMIs for December released overnight, and the most interesting one for us is the Aussie one. Their service sector expanded in the month, with new business growth accelerating, inflation rising, and business confidence at its highest level in 2.5 years. This got the attention of financial markets, who promptly downgraded the chance of an RBA rate cut when they next meet on February the 18th. Australian benchmark government bond yields rose sharply across the board, with their 10-year up an outsized 14 basis points. In China, you may recall we reported their official services PMI jumped from a no-change growth position in November to an outsized positive 52.2 expansion in December, and we counselled to wait for confirmation by the private Caixin services PMI. Well, that Caixin services report is in, and it also reported a 52.2 expansion, an improvement, although not as sharp as the official version reported. So we can be confident the Chinese service sector is expanding now at a good pace. And it does seem to confirm that Beijing's stimulus measures are having a positive impact. In Japan, their December services PMI improved to a better expansion, although to be fair, it was only a marginal gain there. In India, they also reported an uptick with faster growth and softer inflationary pressures. They still have a very strong expansion, although the December gain wasn't quite as strong as analysts had expected. In Canada, they slipped from a November expansion to a December contraction in their services sector. And we should probably note, unrelated to that, Pierre Trudeau has resigned as Prime Minister today, ending a long political career. In the US, the S&P Market Services PMI rose in December to a good expansion, although not quite as strong as was expected there either. Their widely watched local ISM Services PMI is due out tomorrow, and that is also expected to report a modest improvement. Meanwhile, US factory orders slipped marginally in November from October to be only marginally 0.1% higher than the same month in 2023. The US Treasury had a well-supported 3-year bond auction early today that came in with a median yield of 4.29%, substantially higher than the 4.07% yield at the prior equivalent event a month ago. In the EU, their service sector expanded in December after being neutral in November, but it may not last because the gains did not include rising new orders there. And in Germany, there was a bit of surprise overnight when they reported a 2.6% CPI inflation rate, 2.9% when EU harmonised. Both levels were unexpectedly higher. Excluding food and energy, it came in at 3.1% and driven by higher services costs. They still have work to do to get inflation's impulse down to the target 2% level. And back in China, yesterday we noted the bond bubble they are having as sentiment about their economic policies takes a hit in financial markets. All eyes will be on these markets today, but the official pressure is being ramped up to quell the wrong moves by bond traders. Local media is saying the worst of the derating is over, although local media just parrot official narratives there. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now just on 4.63% and up 3 basis points from yesterday. And the price of gold will start today at $2,639 an ounce, at little change from yesterday. And oil prices are also little change from this time yesterday, at just on $74 a barrel in the US, while the international Brent price is still just on $76.50 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar starts today at just on 56.5 US cents and up 40 basis points from this time yesterday. Against the Aussie, we're up 10 basis points to 90.3 Australian cents. Against the euro, we're down 10 basis points at 54.3 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index starts today at just on 67 and up 20 basis points from yesterday. And the Bitcoin price starts today at $102,103 and up 4.1% from yesterday. Volatility of the past 24 hours has been moderate, at plus or minus 2.5%. You can find links to the articles mentioned today in our show notes, and you can get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston, and we'll do this again tomorrow.